Hi, this is Chris at Perfect Mondays, and today I'm talking about a vicious cycle that prevents you from finding fulfillment in your life and your business. Hi, this is Chris at Perfect Mondays, the place for women entrepreneurs who want to scale their business without drama and without overwhelm. If you're a woman entrepreneur and you want to grow your business by working strategically and finding more purpose, by finding more balance, and by staying more time in your zone of genius, then this is the place for you. And today I'm talking about a vicious cycle that keeps so many people stuck, where they can't keep moving forward and they don't know why they're stuck in that place. And I'm gonna go straight into it. Step number one, the biggest challenge that I found right now with people who are struggling is that they don't have emotional fitness. So what does this mean? It means that they are at the mercy of their emotions. There's a difference between feeling something and doing something. And most people understand that in terms of actions. But when it comes to your emotions, people think that they just feel a certain emotion, and you do emotions. So when you're not in control of that part of your life, then it's so easy for your business and your life to move in the direction of the wind. So immediately after step number one, which means failing to master your emotional state, second step kicks in, which means disconnecting from your heart. And why does this happen? It's so common. It happens because think of a time in your life when you're going through a major pain. Whether it is something at work that's like really difficult, you have a really difficult partner, you have a difficult relationship with someone, or something is happening in your life that's making you feel a lot of pain, it's a lot easier to disconnect from your heart, to protect it from feeling that pain, than to go through with it and actually find a solution. Why? Because finding a solution involves many different steps. Finding a solution means sticking with it. Finding a solution means having difficult conversations. Finding a solution means so many different things. And oftentimes when you disconnect from your heart, then you don't feel the pain. So if you don't feel the pain that badly, so imagine that 10 means unbearable pain and 0 means you don't feel any pain. Sometimes something that's super difficult, like a 7 or an 8, you turn it into a 4 or a 5 just by disconnecting from it. The challenge is that when you disengage from your heart, you not only stop feeling the deep emotional pain, you also stop feeling the deep, incredible things in life, the fulfillment, the adventure, and the purpose, like the alignment with your life. You don't feel that. Your intuition goes out the window because you're protecting your heart. So you can't have it one way and not the other way. When you disconnect from your heart, you disconnect from both ends, the shitty side and the incredible side. And then once this happens, then it's really difficult for you to move out of it because your intuition is not guiding you. You're just going through the motions of life and you don't know exactly how to turn the page. When you're disconnected from your heart, something else happens. You start engaging with a specific set of emotions. Now, they're not empowering emotions. Disengaging from your heart doesn't mean that you stop feeling things. You stop feeling the amazing things. You can still feel like crap. You can still feel frustrated, angry, resentful, or all of the above, right? So if you think of a time in your life when you felt super disconnected from your heart, a time where things were like not working out for you, think of what was the primary emotion that you were having in your life. Or even better, think right now in your life, in this moment, what is the primary negative emotion that you go to? What's the challenge with this? Well, step number 3, you normalize this behavior. That's the challenge. When you are stuck in a primary emotion, you normalize that behavior and that becomes your home, that becomes your go-to emotion. So think about it right now in terms of the thermostat, right? When you're at home, let's say you have your thermostat at 72 degrees. If it gets too hot, the AC is gonna kick in, it's gonna bring it back down. And if it gets too cold, then you have a thermostat also for heater that brings you up to 72. So 72 would be your home. Frustration could be your home. Anger could be your home. And whenever things are going well, you're gonna gravitate to that emotional space because you start making that your identity. So when you habituate something, it's the process of just doing something again and again and again. And we've talked about this in other videos where you start making neural connections in your brain. And this feels like something that becomes part of your identity. And when this happens, it's so difficult for you to step out of it. And then you go into step number 4, which means that you start postponing decisions or you start making really crappy decisions. Why is this? Well, let's think about it. If you're disengaged from your heart, if your intuition's out the window, most likely you're gonna be making shitty decisions. When you're making shitty decisions, you're gonna say to yourself, well, I can't make good decisions. So you stop making decisions because the decisions that you make are not very good. And they're not very good, not because you can't make good decisions, but because you're in an emotional state that doesn't allow you to see the light, doesn't allow you to operate in an incredible way. If you've had a time in your life when things are flowing, when everything's going incredible, think of what decisions you were making. What are some of the most important decisions you've made when you were in a peak state? And think about times in your life when you were in a crappy emotional state, when things were like falling left and right when the shit hit the fan, and think of what were the quality of the decisions you were making at the moment in time. And it's really difficult to see that you're doing this in the moment. It's not your ability, it's just the state that you're in. There's also another distinction that I need to make. When you are stuck in a place of pain and you're disengaging from your heart, then you start focusing more on your wants than your needs. Why? Because your wants are short-term emotional gains. Wants are things that make you have an emotional state change. So when you think about it in terms of things that you need to have, not the things you want to have, it becomes really difficult. What you need to do is hard. What you want to do is just stay in your comfort zone. And this pattern of consistently doing things that are things that you want instead of things that you need becomes a vicious cycle, because then you can't get stuck. And I'm gonna say another statement right now that's really important, something that I've observed. The more disengaged you are from your heart, right? And I mean a disconnection between your heart and your brain. When your heart and your brain are not connected, you're gonna be misaligned internally. When you're misaligned internally, your outer universe also is misaligned. It means that a lot of crap is happening and you feel with very little control over it. So the challenge is not that the things that are happening outside of you are the problem. The challenge is that the part that's guiding the ship is not working properly. Okay, so if the first part is you're disconnected from your heart, the more misaligned you are internally, the more you're gonna feel like you need to have so many answers, all the answers, before you can make a decision. Why? Because you don't trust yourself. So you're looking externally for things that validate the things that you can't feel internally. You're waiting for all the ducks in a row to be in place for you to be able to make a decision. You're looking for every excuse available to you to hold that process, because you know that if you make that decision, most likely it's going to be the wrong decision because of your previous history, right? So think about it in terms of your life. If you're taking a long time to make decisions, it means that most likely you're not aligned internally. Because when you are aligned, you don't need a lot of time to make decisions. Your need for certainty becomes less important because you are aligned internally. Lack of clarity is the result of you disengaging from your heart, not trusting your inner worth, and then expecting for something external to validate who you are. And the more that this happens, the more confused that you feel, because your intuition is not part of the process. So let me repeat briefly, what are these steps? Step number one, in terms of this vicious cycle that prevents you from feeling fulfillment, has to do with lack of emotional fitness. You're not strong internally. You don't have the emotional wisdom, let's say, to be able to withstand the crisis in life. And then when pain comes your way, you disengage from your heart. Instead of putting a boundary, a compassionate boundary that says, fuck you, no thank you, you lower your standards, and then you start disengaging from your heart. But when that happens, instead of just stopping feeling the deep emotional pain that you were trying to avoid, you get to do that somewhat, but you also prevent the incredible things in life, like adventure, like excitement, like purpose, like all those wonderful things and intuition, from entering your life. So step number three means that you start habituating these deep negative emotions. They become a habit, and then sometimes you internalize them and you think that they're part of your identity. They become a part of you. That becomes your AC setting, your temperature setting. So once you go past that in a great way, like let's say you're having something incredible happening, your emotional state is going to bring you down to that place, whatever you call home, whether it's frustration or anger or sadness or even depression. And then step number four means that you stop making good decisions, or stop making good decisions at all. You focus more on your wants than your needs. You start focusing more on immediate gratification. You start focusing on things that are going to change your state immediately, instead of making those decisions that are going to take you to a next level. And the more disengaged you are from your heart, the more time you need to think about things, the more external validation you need to be able to make a good decision. I hope this is helpful. If it is, I'd love for you to do three things. Like my video, and I would love for you to subscribe to this. If you think this is something that's valuable, you can just click on the notifications icon so you can get this as soon as they come out. And also, if you think this is something that's powerful for someone to listen to, just share it with them. And most importantly, if you're a woman entrepreneur and you're struggling to change your business, if you're stuck in life right now, and you watch my videos week after week and you say, Chris, you know what you say has so much meaning, I completely understand that, I just don't know how to implement it in my life, then just click on the link below the description of this video, where you're gonna find a little form that you can fill out, and then we can explore if we're a good fit to work together. I would love to support you the way that I've supported hundreds of entrepreneurs to scale their business without so much pain. Suffering is optional. Also, underneath the first link, underneath the description of this video, you're gonna see a link to watch some of my case studies of women entrepreneurs who have scaled their business, who have found a lot more joy and time in their life, and you can hear firsthand what it's like to work with me. So thank you so much for watching, and I send you all my love from Austin.